Easily a contender for one of the worst exotics in D1, the Titan exotic boots, the Mk.44 Stand Asides, have been brought forward into Destiny 2 with the launch of the Curse of Osiris DLC. Just for reference, the D1 Mk.44 Stand Asides were a woeful exotic that gave a very underwhelming bonus. The exotic perk increased your shoulder charge duration from 5 seconds to 8 seconds, and gave you a tighter turn radius while sprinting. Dedicating an exotic to 3 extra seconds on your shoulder charge was a complete waste, and given the other options that Titans had for exotics in D1, like the Ruin Wing, Zarmentarium, and the Peregrine Greaves, which was a direct competitor with the Stand Asides, you were severely hindering yourself by using this exotic. I actually made an optimized video back in D1 on these boots, and in the thumbnail, I called them the Stand Asides. Anyway, D2 now. The Stand Asides offer a new selection of perks, so let's get into the build. The exotic perk on the D2 Stand Asides will grant you an overshield while sprinting at full health, with Seismic Strike, Hammer Strike, or Shield Bash equipped. Also, getting a hit with these abilities will recharge a portion of your melee energy. Quite a lot of things to consider, so let's break it down into simpler terms. We need to use Seismic Strike, Hammer Strike, or Shield Bash, so we can only play as Code of the Earthshaker in the Striker subclass, Code of the Aggressor in the Sentinel subclass, and Code of the Fireforged in the Sunbreaker subclass. We also need to be at full health, and with a full melee charge to get the overshield benefit from the Stand Asides. Let's take this out into the EDZ and do some testing. Sprinting with one of the previously mentioned skill trees while at full health will slowly begin to apply an overshield on you, which will gradually build in strength the longer you stay sprinting. If you take damage while the overshield is on you, it will regenerate itself so long as enemies don't completely strip your shield and start damaging your actual health. If they do completely remove your shield, you will need to stop sprinting and heal up before the overshield can be reapplied. Pretty specific requirements for this exotic, but in an ideal setting, you really do become a flying tank with the high speed and resilience that Titans possess. Also, the other features to this exotic, being that hits with the melee charges will recharge melee energy, you will get a flat 50% return on your melee charge, just for hitting a target. So we've obviously got a lot to process, but to streamline this optimized video, I'll only recommend my preferred build for this exotic, not all the builds. Firstly though, the default mod on the Stand Asides is an agility mod, and while this is what the Stand Asides are all about, I was quick to change this out for a recovery mod. We have the ability to play as any of the 3 subclasses, but I believe the strongest build is with the Code of the Earthshaker in the Striker skill tree, and there is a reason for this. One of my favourite builds in D2 is with Code of the Earthshaker and the Insurmountable Skullfort helmet, which sort of works like the Stand Asides, but a bit differently. The Skullfort will completely recharge your Seismic Strike if you get the killing blow with it, and since the skill tree also offers 2 pulse grenades with bonus duration, and the fact that charged melee attacks grant grenade energy, this tree allows you to put out some serious damage by constantly having your pulse grenades ready. The problem is, you need to get the killing blow with your Seismic Strike to trigger the Skullfort's perk, so you either need to target very weak enemies, or enemies that have already been chipped down. In easy content, this isn't a problem, but in the harder content, you will find it much harder to land the killing blow with your Seismic Strike, and if you don't hit the killing blow, your melee charge will be completely drained. This is why I rate the Stand Asides more highly in tougher content like the Leviathan and the Eater of Worlds raids. No matter what, you are getting half of your charge back guaranteed, so you don't have to fret over targeting weakened enemies. Not to mention, getting up close to these stronger enemies is dangerous in itself, so having a defensive overshield on you while you're barreling towards them will keep you alive. So this is how I would build with the Stand Asides in PvE. Go with Code of the Earthshaker and prioritise using your pulse grenades. Use your Seismic Strike overshield to move safely, then use your strike to get your grenades and half your melee charge back. Particular fights I would suggest using the Stand Asides in would be the Baths in the Leviathan raid, maybe in the Argos fight in the Eater of Worlds, and maybe in Prestige Nightfalls. A pretty situational exotic for PvE, but in the right scenarios, Stand Asides are going to be a decent exotic. And now we have the Crucible. Getting an overshield while sprinting is something that Titans are very familiar with from D1, since the Juggernaut perk in the Striker skill tree projected a shield out in front of you while you were sprinting. Now in D2, you're getting a complete overshield that would typically allow you to tank a golden gun shot. Playing ultra aggressively with Titans in the Crucible is probably not as easy as it once was, since the removal of one-shot shoulder charges and frequent shotgun ammo, but having an overshield while you're flying at an enemy should provide enough resistance for you to hit your shoulder charge, and then follow it up with another punch for the kill. If anything, I feel like the Stand Asides are making the shoulder charge abilities a bit more useful in PvP, to the point where you probably won't feel defenseless by sprinting into a cave or around a corner. Is it the best exotic for PvP though? Probably not, since the exotic is literally doing nothing for you while your melee isn't charged. But again, for some players in the right environment, the Stand Asides are at the very least fun, and even pretty good at times. As for builds in PvP, I really don't have a preference, but I tend to roll with my Striker the most, but any of the skill trees will work reasonably well. So what do you guys think of the Mk.44 Stand Asides? I hope we can all agree that they're a significant improvement from D1, but do you think they're good enough as is? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, guys.